Okay, so test. What? Okay, luckily I can edit. All right, so talking about the elbow and the wrist, testing the elbow and the wrist. I don't necessarily need to go through every position. I'm going to do this in lateral so that you see it as well as possible, because if in other positions you just won't see what I'm doing. With the elbow, you obviously have flexion and extension. It is going to be exceptionally strange for you to find a flexion problem. You're more likely to find soft tissue approximation in varying degrees depending on the size of the bicep and the size of the forearm. Somebody may have a small bicep and a giant forearm for like Popeye for some reason. So you'll see varying reasons for soft tissue approximation. I'm really glad that the camera holder doesn't have a microphone, and I don't think we're picking that up. But anyways, what you will find is often restriction in extension, or you'll find full extension, but it'll do this weird deviation thing. That weird deviation thing could just be the shape of the olecranon and the olecranon fossa, and I think there's some other stupid word in there, but whatever. But you'll find it at the end there, and then you'll also find challenges with forearm pronation, but that's going to be the radial head-ish, right? So we'll go through that real quick. If you're comfortable, we'll have you lay on your side.
Thanks.
Okay. Then shimmy back a little bit. There you go. So I'm not going to test it out here. I'm reaching too far. I'll test it here. So you generally get into anatomical neutral. So we've got the palm up. I'm going to generally palpate the region. Under some circumstances, I can kind of get around the front, but depending on the size of my hand and the size of the person's arm, I may not be able to do that. But obviously, that's going to be fine. I'm going to get soft tissue approximation. The joint can probably go farther than that, but that's just what's going to happen. Forearm and bicep are going to slap, right? I'm going to bring it out this way, right? So here's the deal. It will go all the way, but I'm feeling something build. Do you agree that there's something here? So I'm above the elbow. It's hard to say exactly what it is. There could be some forearm stuff here, but it's probably a little bit more likely medial tricep-ish. But I'm really in the area of the tricep tendon. I just know that I'm feeling tension here, and I don't absolutely need to know what it is. I know it's here, right? But the reason I know is because I'm broadly contacting everything. Right now, when I go there, again, still feels here. Now I can come over here and pay attention to it, right? So I can just switch my hand. I can pay attention broadly. And again, this is nice and soft. There's a lot of tension here. You agree? Right, there's a lot of tension here. So I was able to find it this way and this way just to confirm. And then at the end, right, like this side will get to end range, this side won't. So now I know just with that broad contact, I've got some stuff going on. With respect to the supination and pronation, bring it all the way out and take it there. So broadly, I can contact. So the yoke isn't going to let me feel what the heck the radial head's going to do. But if I pinch my thumb, not really pinching, but my thumb can be in that area, and then it may run along the finger, but I'll feel that. And sometimes I'll feel a lot, sometimes I won't feel much. It's somewhat obscure because really it just rolls, so you're not necessarily going to find a ton of problems there. The one thing that I will add before I get to the wrist, so you've got the proximal radio-ulnar and then the distal radio-ulnar. Crunch. You'll get some of this. Now, because this isn't going to be as still as you want it to be, it's hard to know exactly what's going on, but you'll find if you glide it, right? So I'm holding like this with both hands, and I'm just doing this, right? So I'm gliding one down, one up, one down, one up, or I can just do it at the same time. And one of them will feel a little bit more restricted. In this case, interestingly, neither one feels particularly restricted. You're comfortable with agreeing with that? Then in the wrist, flexion, extension, deviations, right? So, sorry, that was fast, right? There's something going on with the wrist, and it's here-ish. Yes?
Like by my thumb,
yeah. Yeah, here-ish. So I don't have any resistance to movement on this side. I have some resistance to movement on this side, right? And then that's not bad. And then that's where I feel it, right? So that broad contact for multipoint discrimination comes from contact as control. So as much as I can be in contact with, there we go. That's the wrist. We're not necessarily going to show any other holds because then it becomes treatment. Aside from, if you wanted to, you can keep the forearm still. You basically give them a handshake. And you can do this. And again, that yoke will give me all the information I wanted. Again, everything pops up there. So I can do it like this, or I can do it like this, right? So there's this, or there's this. The net result is the same, but my hand positions are a little bit different. So it's the same thing in other positions. I just have to position myself differently so I can get those hand holds. So at least with the wrist, you've either got stabilizing the forearm and giving the handshake and moving the handshake, or you've got thumb over index finger like that. Fair enough? Okay, sit up.